will, or that I held this webinar today, even though it was scheduled, but some internal stuff. And yeah, okay. So the topic today in Visual JForex is tips and tricks, apparently in English. And so if there are any questions, please post them in the chat or something, or just and just let me know if there are some problems, current stuff or something. Just maybe a general information. We had at least a new version on pre-demo, and we're testing it right now, and it seems to be pretty good, more or less. And still some things to do. I think I thought at least it would be last week published, but yeah, due to some technical stuff, it was not possible. So I hope that it will. So yeah, let's see how this will work. And I'm pretty sure I answered a couple of emails telling some users that problems are solved. And I think Amin did the same. Or let's say at least in pre-demos on our internal test device. It looks okay. It looked okay. And yeah, all right. Tips and tricks. So I believe it's the third or the second. Don't get too complicated. Third one. All right. So yeah, okay. I think I did it at least in the German forum, on the German webinar. I did a small tip. So there is, for instance, if you'd like to have, let's open the platform. It's easier to show. So I want to create, let's say, a component which allows me to identify if the any indicator touches some, or if a candle, if any candle in the past, I don't know, whatever you, it's up to you how many candles you want to consider. For instance, 5 candles, if they have touched a certain indicator, just touched. Nothing said about if it's above or below, but I think when I show you the logic created by yourself, and yeah, just a little bit, how to use a bit more. I mean, my colleague doesn't like to use counter that much, but I like them because they're making things much more easy, and you can yeah, go directly or refer directly to certain points. Even you don't need to program it. All right. All right. So, for instance, if I want, so for instance, okay, I'll take a short. But in that case, if we want to know if last X candles, if they have touched the EMA or not. So basically, the idea behind that is once you have, beside your basic strategy, sometimes it is when you are in trending markets, it's just touching, and then you sometimes, I mean, not in that case, but sometimes go further. Like almost here. Maybe here's a good higher, then it retraces a bit, and then it goes back again. Okay, now the idea was that I had to program it for a user, and I found it really useful. So basically, I shorten it. I only show you the component itself. So of course, the whole strategy and the whole conditions before and after, it's up to you, and you have to self. So I'm used to show, or used to mean when I'm action. For me, that's me front. So this is, I don't know, some additional conditions to your strategy, and this means for me, okay, there's something coming in front of this component, which I will show you, and then I will put another multiply strategy in the other conditions you want to set up. Yeah, you have to set it up for yourself and to program it for yourself. All right. So yeah, the idea is that you first of all need a counter. Need a counter. Why? Because we want to iterate with a loop view. We want to iterate, let's say, last 10 candles in that case. Okay, daily. Oh, apparently on gold it's not working. 15 candles. It's on bid, yeah. And so, but I think on euro dollar or something, there's movement in it. Okay, you see, it has touched the very fifth, the fifth last candle. Okay, so let's take the euro dollar then for an example, because you see it's touching all the time, so it's a pretty good example. All right. So I want to use the loop view to look back, if you will, to look back X candles, or in that case 10 candles, and give me a true or false if yeah, the price touches the SMA, just touches. It's nothing said like here if it's above or beyond, above or below the indicator. It's just like that it touches. So the high was somehow above the EMA, or the low is below the EMA. So that means. All right. So I will just say counter SMA as an integer. Pretty important, because otherwise you cannot set up the period or the shift. Sorry, the shift that you want to do. I mean, the shift in that case means that you have to check for every candle. Okay, if the high is higher than the SMA, or the low is lower than the EMA. Sorry, EMA. So for every X candle, you have to go through this logic, and of course you can program it in a much more complicated way without the counter, but we'll show you how efficient it, my idea is, or at least the loop view. It's shortened the number of blocks dramatically. All right. start value, I will explain it later to you why I use 11 here. Yeah. I think that's it. Get a start the candles. The typical procedure. I believe everybody knows how to determine the high and low of previous N candles or X candles. So let's take here, like I said, 10. And what I want to do is, because I cannot show it that often, I mean, not often enough. You don't need to take this block or to program this block, but it's just my experience that it is more useful, and you can find errors more quickly. And this is very important. You have to define the instrument you are trading on. Consider candles. All right. So then we have our famous loop view. Get here area of data and my candles, for instance. All right. Then we need to have our EMA. Now we select our counter SMA. We take default period and time period or whatever. So the thing is, why I choose counter SMA and the opposite, you can also make it changeable variable, global variable. If you just say, okay, candles amount is global, I'll show you. Candles count, coordinates here once again integer. You set start value as 10 and you put it here on global. And then you have it, as a global variable that you can define here, for instance. If not if, just basic calculation. Candles amount plus 1. Okay, a little bit more. If in it boolean, so it's a small, it's a loop which is only activated once, right at the start, at the beginning. Start value is true. If it's true, then do this. You have the counter SMA. No, you have your counter and integer right plus the n assign init false. Right. So this is loop. Then you take assign count. Now you made everything as a variable, which is quite good, so you can change it easily. Alright, and then you don't need to, but I will show you another thing. Sometimes it is quite useful. It is quite useful to break this loop once your conditions are met. So that means if you just want to know, okay, this one, or like right here, is touched, and here and here. All right, and so you can either lower the CPU load. If you say, okay, once you go back from this 10th candle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on this candle, and then you check backwards. Usually you check like this in this direction, but in that case you're checking backwards. So once one candle reaches your condition, then it just breaks right here, and then it gives you a true, which is quite okay. I think I did it for a user because of some reason which I cannot remember, but it was very important that that I have to break this loop inside. So inside this loop here, so I need to assign another variable. Two ways. I will show you another way. I mean, you can also, which is more efficient for the CPU load, you can, Boolean has the value 0 or 1, so yes or no, true or false. And you can also do it with an integer, with a dollar, 0 or 1. You can define it. It's not the same, but Boolean is a bit or uses a bit less CPU load or RAM usage, so it's a bit more efficient. But I just want to show you a loop that it's also working with yeah, it's an integer, but I'm pretty sure you are, or you know that already. Start value. As 0, and then you say, okay, if break loop is 0, then do something. Okay. So if blocks to measure the high and the low, so that price has touched the EMA. So basically my candles, candle high, candle low, and I have here my EMA, which is iterated each time. So maybe just, I don't know if my colleagues, in former times, or last week, or last month, if they explain it, but I'm pretty sure we did it already, because we did our webinars for half a year now. So a loop viewer is like, when you click on the icon here on the info button, it is area of data, so it is like a table, if you will. So we have, in that case, candles, but you also can use positions, candles, and signals. Signals is a bit complex and not that much tested yet. So because there were not many questions concerning signals, so that's why the focus is not on this side, to say the least. So basically, we are using right now candles. So that means every variable here on the left side has captured or saved for each candle. So in that case, we have 10 candles. So 10 times it is saved for every candle. I'm sorry. The values are saved, and Luvia goes through once, how many candles we want to have a look back on. So basically we have 10 candles, so this loop viewer, with every default period, this loop viewer will go through this loop, which I'm going to create now, at least, not at least, but maximum 10 times. It depends on this breaking loop variable, which could make it only, going through only once, but at the maximum of 10 times, because of this is our candle amount, or amount of candles. And So it goes through and checks if my condition, which I'm going to program now, I'll show you now, every time if yeah, the conditions are true or not true, or gives you some certain values. So that is being by the output here, flows current point of the flow, which activates each time the block iterates. It's maybe not that well understandable, but iteration means just what I just explained. So it goes through, and that in our case 10 times maximum, and checks for conditions. Maybe you can remember that on our fact, I will show you frequently asked questions. There is a post into our how to get the highest high and lowest low, which is quite useful, and you see 152 times it was downloaded. So let's just import it just to show, but probably you know that already. I'll show you anyway. So it's roughly the same logic behind. You define some extreme points before you iterate or before you create the loop, and then you just say, okay, if the candle high is bigger than the highest, which is at the beginning 0, so every high or the highest value of the very first candle will be assigned to the highest, and the other way around for the lowest. So, and then it will be safe because it's loop, so it goes through 5 times, and every time, so the next time it checks the next candle high, and if it's higher than the previous candle high, then it will be assigned to the highest, I mean to the variable highest. So at the end of each T4 period, so in that case 10 minutes, you will have the values for the highest high and the lowest low for every candle. I mean with every new candle you get the high or the extreme points for the last 5 candles. So it's, you know, with every new candle it's shifted by 1, of course, because you're only considering the 5 last candles. Alright, so if break loop is 0, which is our initial condition, so that makes, you know, if it's 0 then proceed, otherwise stop. So if it's 0 then do something, or we can also do it like this, maybe better, less than 1, which means 0, and if it's not 1, I mean if it's not 0, so meaning 1, then break the loop. Okay, if the candle, if in the 10 candles my candle high is bigger than, let me just think, yes, bigger than, and the candle low is other way around, just a second, so it's lower, yeah. Okay, then assign, I don't know, then assign EMA look back, Boolean, start value false, assign it to true. So that means if the candle high is bigger than the EMA, or you know, the last 10 candles high is bigger than the EMA from each, you know, from this respective candle, and the other way around, if the candle low is lower than the EMA in that, you know, respective candle, the, you know, candles low and the respective SMA to that, then assign this EMA look back to true. So that means that the price has touched the EMA. Okay, and is not like, so if the candle low no, I made a mistake. Candle low is bigger than high, must be. Let me check. Let me just double check. Forgot something. And I forget something. I forget something. Because I didn't decrease the counter, so it makes no sense right now. Calculation. Counter SMA -1. Alright, so now which yes, I got bigger than candle. Okay. No, I got it. I'm sorry. That's wrong thinking at this. Alright, so, and if the EMA is lower than the candle low and bigger than or greater than the candle high, then assign trade look back as false. Alright, and then we have to break here our loop. So once the EMA look back is true, just assign variable break loop to. So that would be on component, which is showing you, I mean, okay, not that small, but which shows you or which enables you to clarify, okay, if the EMA in the last X candles has touched the EMA. Yeah, quite useful if you want to, usually it's a part of a strategy, so one small component, and yeah, of course you can take 10 times historical candle block and check 10 times the EMA block, and you can at least 10 times the if block. So it's getting bigger and bigger, the strategy. So it's yeah, I think it's quite more effective to do it in that way. Of course, maybe a little bit if you don't know that much, or if you have sometimes problems or trouble understanding how the loop viewer is going to work. Maybe you check out the high and lowest low, and maybe this one will help you as well to come closer to in order to how this loop viewer is really working. All right. So this would be one tip or trick. I don't know. But yeah, okay, maybe another idea, somebody. Okay, in the chat. Any questions or something? All right, do I have another advice? Maybe just let's check out the forum if there is something which I can deal with right now. Let's check out the community. zigzag. It was so far it was the only user who asked something about zigzag, but I'm pretty sure that this could be a real powerful indicator. But it's a bit tricky how to use them in a strategy, because as you might know, the zigzag indicator is, like you see here, when it's drawn up, you don't know. I mean, probably it has to begin the highest point after this retracement here. It will be drawn up like here or something. So this line would end here. So with every new high, that's you can Google the definition of the zigzag indicator. So it's about the retracement after a certain move. The retracement, I believe it was in percentage. So after the retracement has reached a certain percentage, then the zigzag will, let's say, activate its reversal line, and so as a result, it begins to draw the line. So, and with every new high, like here and here, it's connected to that high, and then it will draw. So in order to to see, I mean, now it looks really easy to make a strategy out of it, but when it comes to real time, then it's not that easy to use it as a strategy. Okay, spin high, okay, so we'll just show you, maybe, because like I said, it's not that easy as a beginner to not understand, but how to use these this indicator. Here we'll just close this variables. Okay, first of all, like usual, I initiate the zigzag indicator, and I make there's another important thing to add. The zigzag indicator could also be, or could assign the value not available. So that means that when you running a strategy like like this one, so you every 10 minutes there will be a signal generated, and yeah. So, but with every new candle, I'll show you here. Not with every candle, a zigzag has a value. I mean, the value could be in a past candle or something. I'll show you. Maybe we are a bit lucky. Let's do it like this. So, okay, perfect. So right now, okay, when we are right here, you see there is no zigzag value. I mean, in the current candle. So you need to have some sort of look back to see, okay, what was the last zigzag value, which is some couple of candles before our current candle. So we need to save somehow this value in order to say, okay, we're waiting for the next new value. If you are good at math, you can also, do it like, not do it like, but you can short line, long line. You can create, a breakout strategy. I mean, it's not that good setup right now, but can I zoom in a bit? Okay, so maybe this one is better. Okay, so you see, basically this is your support line generated by, not closely, not this one, but it was in the midnight, so maybe you have to consider also the time. So, but basically there was a big movement below this support line, and so you see that could have you probably, you know, up to 20 pips. So you can with this zigzag indicator, you can create, you know, of course you have to calculate this one. It's not that easy, but if you're good in math, then it would be easy for you to set this up, even the other way around. So if you want to yeah, the dollar is falling, so here's maybe good. I'm on webinar. Okay, Home Alone, you mean? I don't know. They left me. They left me. All right. You. It's not actually a trend here either. So yeah, but anyway, you can either also calculate, you know, when you have your highest or the two very highest highs, so you can say, okay, if the last zigzag high is higher than this high or whatever, then you can also make a breakout strategy, you know, like a channel, triangle or whatever. And yeah, it's not pretty easy, but you can set it up like this. Okay, so first of all, you make sure that the zigzag is zero, bigger than zero, so that means it has a value, the indicator. And then you check, okay, first of all, you store this last zigzag, and then you determine, okay, current high or current low. So you make additional checkup, okay, if the zigzag, the current zigzag, or the, which is bigger than zero, is bigger or smaller than the stored zigzag, then assign current high, current low zigzag. I mean, now it's easy to see that, but yeah, as I said, you cannot, you know, use it like an EMA or something, that you just say, okay, if zigzag is something, there's some, yeah, probably it's, or not probably, I'm pretty sure it will not work. So first of all, you need, this condition is very essential, because on every 10 or on every candle, not on every candle, there's a valid value for the zigzag. Okay, and I checked it, I have run it at that time when I posted this answer to the user. When was it? 21st of February. So yeah, and it works. So maybe you can use it as well. Alright, 10 minutes left. I think when I show something else, it will extend my time. If there are any questions, even not concerning programming or something else, but concerning visual, then you will probably, or you can ask me. If not, I'm very pleased to meet you in the forum or via email, and I will provide some, or my team or my colleagues will provide them the suitable answers. And yeah, so no questions. Then I would say I will end this visual JForex tutorial, tips and tricks. I hope there was something for you which you found interesting. Maybe you can use it in your strategies or in your contest. As I said, in visual JForex right now, I think you can really program, I think, yeah, complex strategies, but not too complex. But I mean, they could be complex, but it's hard to explain what will not work. But I think visual JForex, at least with a new version, which will be released soon, then you can do, I believe, really complex strategies without any errors. I mean, when you set it up correctly. So yeah, all right. Then have a nice lunchtime, evening. I don't know in which time zone you are in right now. So wish you a pleasant day and happy Easter. And see you soon. Bye.